I notice nobody's talking about what's going on in Sudan, so I'm going to break it down. See, the RSF, aka the Janjaweed, is a proxy force of the white supremacist oligarchs. UAE is definitely involved, but they're the middleman. They serve the same role that Azerbaijan served in the Afghanistan war, where America was processing the heroin that they was cultivating in Afghanistan in Azerbaijan before shipping it around the world in Silkway Airlines and Turkish Airlines. In this case, the Janjaweed, aka the RSF, we're just going to call them RSF from now on, they steal the gold from Darfur and they run it through Libya. Now, Libya, at least Eastern Libya, is controlled by Khalifa Haftar. Khalifa Haftar is a puppet of the United States. They had fed and fattened him in Washington, D.C. all throughout the 2011 coup that was staged by NATO and the United States government under Barack Hussein Obama, the homosexual. And now the thing is, with Haftar in place and Omar Bashar out of power, America has free reign. That's why they broke the country up into two parts in the first place, to weaken them. So now America has access unfettered to their oil. But to get that gold, and this is why the Germany was attacking them in the first place, outside of the fact that they hate blacks, is they wanted that damn gold for the United States. Because America, like I said in a video a long time ago, they lost a lot of gold in Fort Knox. And that's the real reason they got off the gold standard, and people don't like talking about that. That video is probably deleted. Who knows? But I made a video about that a long time ago. So, yeah, Sudan has a lot of gold. They have access to the Red Sea. Of course, the Nile runs through Sudan. That's the reason why they staged that coup, that attempted civil war in Ethiopia, because they were building that big-ass dam. America has a huge stake in this. They need that gold for whatever reason, probably for another war. That's why they stole Venezuela's gold. That's why they stole Libya's gold. That's why they stole Iraq's gold, to re-up the fucking supply that they lost. Now, the thing is, most of this gold, it ends up in Dubai. The Gulf Kings in Dubai process it and ship it around the world. It's basically a money laundering hub, just like Azerbaijan was for Afghan heroin. The UAE, as the middleman, is the one that's giving these people weapons. The weapons come from, I'm going to say it comes from Israel. Israel gives them most of their weapons. But then you have mercenaries from the Central African Republic, which is really France, and Niger. Now, the Niger ones are largely the terrorists in the north that were kicked out by the Tuaregs in South Libya. The ones fighting the Bombara in Mali. These people are another group that pipeline weapons to the Janjaweed. The Central African Republic pipelines weapons from France, all to get that gold. So that gold gets processed in Dubai, then it gets quote unquote bought by the French, by the Americans, and then they get unfettered access to that oil, France especially. American multinationals get to harvest it, and they all get access to the Red Sea from a new port. And it's only a matter of time before America puts another base there. So that's what it's all about. Now, the RSF, they hate the blacks and they want money. They're mercenaries. They're anti-black mercenaries, vehemently and openly. And those are Myron Gaines' people. That's his race. That is why he doesn't talk about it when people bring it up. Because that's his people doing their thing. He feels the same way. But back to the government. So the white supremacist oligarchs, they got Omar Bashir out the way. Now they're cleansing out the blacks. Because like I said, when the money gets funny, the cats pull out the straps. What that means is, if the economy's bad in a certain place and the blacks are doing great, you take them out. If blacks are sitting on gold or oil or bauxite or whatever they can get, and the Aryan race wants access to that, they pull out the straps and they start deleting people. They start busting caps and asses, just like they did in Bolivia. The money was getting funny. He was asking for too much. So the United States government and Elon Musk, they got Evo Morales' ass out about the mix. And like I said, Omar Bashir was a piece of shit. Don't get it twisted. But it was better him than what the situation is now, which is a no man's land with a useless fake government, no different from the Libyan Transitional Council that was toothless and feckless, which is why America brought Khalifa Haftar back to control eastern Libya via Misrata. So now black people are getting slaughtered in Darfur again. Israel's making a ton of money selling weapons to the RSF because Israel despises black people. That's why they put blacks in concentration camps. That's why they founded the NAACP, to keep tabs on the black community and then report things to the FBI so that the FBI knew who to honeypot and who to assassinate. That was the NAACP. And the NAACP was directly tied to the ADL, a hate group that was founded to frame a black man. But we're getting off topic. Let's get back to, so anybody talking about the ADL used to be a credible organization, they're a fucking agent. And that's all I got to say about that. But let's get back on track. These guys are arming these terrorists. They want Red Sea access. They want access to the Nile. That's why they've killed almost 200,000 people. You got down there 30 million people that need aid. They're not going to get it because there's no way to get up in there. And it's all about ethnic cleansing. When the dust settles and all those Arabs take that land, America will come in there welcoming these people with open arms, just like they did Al-Qaeda in Syria when they took the country from Bashar from Bashar al-Assad and handed it to al-Julani and this terrorist organization that's over there slaughtering Druze, slaughtering Christians, blowing up Sufi mosques and shit. Because all that shit's still happening in Sudan. In Syria. All that shit's still happening in Syria. And now they're doing the same thing in Darfur, slaughtering blacks. The RSF, aka Janjaweed, is the same group that helped go into Libya and slaughter the goddamn blacks. And the you niggas be coming here, when they come to America, it's all smiles and high fives and at the ox shop and shit. Oh, yo, wait, let me get a chopped cheese. Meanwhile, they're calling you all kind of Abid and Zerkas. Because they can't stand your black ass. They can't stand you. And this government can't stand you either. That's why they're funding these niggas. Because a lot of the white supremacist oligarchs, they look at this as a proxy for the eventual fate you'll face. And they've done it to blacks here. We saw what happened to Katrina, where they sent black water in there to kill black people. You had sheriffs and rednecks with straps busting caps on black people trying to get food, crossing bridges, looking for refuge. So we already know what time it is. At the end of the day, this is about killing blacks and taking things for the United States government and the white supremacist oligarchs and their multinationals who are going to take that oil. I mean, they're already taking the oil. They're doing it right now. But that's what this is about. It's about stealing shit and killing blacks.